Hi, my name is Baby Azala, and this video is going to be longer than usual because it is going to consist of reflection for more than 2 weeks. It's going to consist of reflection for week 19, which is February 7th to 11th, week 20th, which is February 14th to 18th, week 21, which is February 21st to 25th, week 22, which is February 28th to March 4th, and then week 23 and 24. So throughout this whole journey, what we did was we first waited for the good wood to come, which was taking quite a while because Mr. Hicks himself wasn't getting it. One of his acquaintances was getting it. And so while we waited for the good wood to come, we did geometrics practice to practice and get more knowledge for the certification test, which was the Excel certification test. And then afterwards, once we did get the good wood, we transferred the plywood pieces onto it so that we can cut out the right measurements, and then we tested and we just continued working on Excel certifications to get more prepared for the certification test and portfolio updates. Here you can see the old bad plywood pieces that work inside of the van being put on top of the new thick plywood piece that we just bought. And as you can see, the old plywood pieces are just a little bit longer than the new plywood piece. So what we decided to cut the new plywood piece in half. And yet again, we were split into two teams. I worked at the table that you can see right there. And what we did is we worked on the back plywood pieces while the other team worked for the front plywood pieces. And so we then, after taping them onto the new plywood piece and clamping it on, we decided to trace it, and then we used the jigsaw to cut it out. Here is my team, and the other team also had a plywood piece just like this. And so we first traced, clamped, and then we traced it out. You can see the tracing in the black marker. So Chris is first just cutting a straight line so that the plywood piece can be cut into two pieces so that we can just be working with a smaller piece, and so we don't have to have like a big piece that is getting in our way. Here you can see Eric using a retro jigsaw. So this wasn't the normal electrical one that we were using before. So one problem that we have experienced previously is because we only have one jigsaw, we had to wait for the other team to finish before we can continue on with our work. And this, instead of increasing efficiency, this was decreasing it. So we found another jigsaw, but this wasn't as high-tech as the other one. This was a lot more retro. So this was confusing and uncomfortable to use at first because it wasn't as straight as the other one. But after a little bit of experience and a little bit of practicing, we were able to get used to it, and we started understanding that to use this one correctly, we would just have to apply a little bit more pressure than the other one because the other one is a little bit more high-tech. Then out of nowhere, I fell and I got a ligament tear. Due to this, the doctor told me I had to stay home for a long time, which was a span of 3 weeks, meaning I missed week 21, 22, and 23. However, in week 21, they checked the wood and they fixed what was needed, and the plywood pieces were cut out by the end of the week. Week 22, they cut a little bit more of the wood and they fixed what was needed and what adjustments were necessary. And this way, the pieces fit very well in the van after that. And then they started working on the regular Excel certification tests. Most of us passed, and then afterwards we started practicing for the Excel expert certification test. And then on week 23 we started planning out the van layout after the flooring, as we were mostly done. Now all we needed to do was add in the laminate, and then we were done with the flooring. However, one thing that we started working previously on but never finished was the van template that each group individually thought of. My group consisted of Amanda, Ethan, Anthony, and myself, and here are some of our ideas for the inside of the van. One thing we considered was a pull-out table so that we can still have a table, but we didn't need to waste extra space on it. And here is another idea for extra storage, which is storage under the bed. This way we could again limit space as the van already doesn't have much space in the inside. And yeah, we thought this was going to be a great idea to use a futon bed, so that way this could be converted into a couch and it could have multiple functions. However, we later learned that what Mr. Hicks wanted us to have inside of a van was a rock and roll bed, which wouldn't work with the current ideas we had, so we have to change up a lot of our ideas. Here are some more interior ideas to make our van look aesthetic while also functional. These are the dimensions of our van with the use of the CAD software Autodesk Inventor, and this just is an accurate representation of the space that we have to work with. So this presentation is going to be shared with everyone on week 24. So we also included a decision matrix to show why we chose the layout that we did. This is the first option. It is very unfavorable as the bed is taking up way too much space and there is no space to walk, and it is just very ineffective. Then we like this option because there's space to walk in the middle so that we can still open and close the back doors. There is space to walk, however, there is a lot of appliances that will still be used. We really don't like this idea as it has a toilet and a shower, which makes no sense for it to be inside of the van when it could just be outside. This is a camper van and we would be traveling to places that have bathrooms and showers. This is our favorite layout as it has a bed, storage, and a sink. And the only thing we would change is just taking out that extra captain seat because we just don't like it and we feel like it's taking up way too much space. Finally, here is our preferred and final suggestion for the layout in CAD software with Autodesk Inventor. It shows everything that we wanted to add, and we just think it looks very good, and we can totally implement this into the van that we have right now.